Now, educating and empowering you on how to stop the big banks and collection companies from stealing your money. You're listening to Your Credit Matters, heard daily on KPRZ at 6:30 p.m. and online at kprz.com. Your host, international best-selling author and local credit expert, Rhonda Lambeth, along with partner, certified credit pro, Michelle Olson.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Your Credit Matters, the most important 30 minutes of your day. Michelle and I are so thankful to spend this time with you, and we love helping you and families like yours have a better life through financial literacy and credit education. You know, every day we expose what the big banks, the collection companies, and the credit bureaus, what we think they don't want you to know, and how they purposely drive down your credit score so they can charge you higher interest rates, more fees, and keep you in chains, and make sure that you are their slave your entire life. If you have any questions regarding credit, real estate, or finances, or how to get out of debt in the next 100 days, please call our offline number. It's 619-333-0111. Again, that's the offline number. We don't want you to tell us your financial problems in front of 500,000 people. We want you to talk with us on our private offline number. Again, that number is 619-333-0111. Or you can simply go to the website, AskRhonda.com. Again, that's AskRhonda.com, AskRondi.com. When we talk, not only are we going to be able to help you and your family escape the chains of bad credit, but we're also going to give you a free financial roadmap to get you out of debt, sometimes in as little as 100 days.
Also, if you'd like a free copy of our new book on credit and how you can obtain a 740 credit score in the next 74 days, simply text KPRZ to the number 411-247. That's 411-247. Text KPRZ and be sure to include your name and email address, and we'll send you a copy of the book for free.
In studio today, we have with us Sean Doan from Doan Law Firm. Thanks, Sean.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Wow, you're already tired today.
Hey, you know what? We've had a long week. Today is a beautiful day, and I'm glad that the week is over. Not really. I'm not glad the week is over. I'm glad that we're able to help so many people this week. Yesterday, I made so many phone calls on my iPhone that my iPhone shut down because I overheated it. Have you ever seen that on your phone, Sean?
Never.
So, but with that being said, I'm glad to be here. I am hot. I'm tired. I can't wait.
Maybe you need to hang out with Sean on the surfboard more.
That's what I need to do.
Yeah, just jump in the water. It cooled off 10 degrees last night, so.
You know, we went scuba diving last weekend. It was 86 or 88 in Poway. We drove over to La Jolla. It was 73 degrees.
Burr.
And we went scuba diving for the first time in La Jolla Shores. We tried to. And we swam out about 300 yards, got out there, and we couldn't sink. I had 30 pounds of weight on, and I thought that was more than enough. Michelle had 20 pounds of weight. You would think 30 pounds was more than enough.
Yeah. What? You couldn't sink?
I couldn't sink.
He sinks in our swimming pool.
I can lay the floaties off?
I tried. You know what happens? I bought a brand new wetsuit. And so they said because it's a semi-dry wetsuit, the water's not getting inside the wetsuit. So I got to go buy another 10 pounds of weight.
So you're like a big seal for the sharks to come take a chomp out of you.
Yeah. So Michelle's going to take me.
Don't say that.
Michelle's going to take me out and throw a cinder block around my ankles and drop me, and I won't even sink. That's what I was trying to do.
Don't give me any ideas, Lambeth.
Yeah. So all week we've been talking about, Bank of America seeking immunity. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan's, and Chase, all these banks have been caught literally with their pants down, and they are settling left and right. They just settled with the California State AG a week and a half ago now. And then, get this, Sean, they settled for, I think it was $5.1 billion. The AG backed off on their lawsuit and their investigation. A week later, the state of California does a $5 billion payday loan from JP Morgan and Chase.
Oh, there you go. There's your security.
So they settle out, and then they get their payday loan a week later. So who knows?
Now they want immunity.
How does that work?
And now they want immunity from the U.S. Department of Justice or whoever's doing this lawsuit. But, we have you on the show. You help people get out of debt. You've helped hundreds, actually thousands and thousands of people in California.
Over 25,000 and growing strong.
Hundreds every month.
Saving lives left and right. You know, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a retired fireman. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And my mom, I was talking to my mom the other day, and she goes, do you ever miss, being a fireman? Of course I miss it. You know what I miss is being in the truck, driving 80, 90 miles an hour down the road with the lights and sirens going. I miss that.
You're like an overgrown child.
I am. That's what, it's good to be me.
Okay. Go on.
And I miss the part that we actually got to save lives, and we got to save physical lives. But really, with our business now, we're saving lives financially, emotionally. We're keeping marriages together, and that's what I see that you're doing. 25,000 lives, essentially, 25,000 families that you guys have saved because people kill themselves over finances.
They do.
And if you can eliminate their debt, 3.5 months later, they meet with you. 3.5 months later, they're debt free. They've eliminated 20 years of debt or 30 years or 40 years of debt. Eliminated the debt. 3.5 months later, they're debt free. Life is good. They now can actually afford to retire. I look at that. Your program is a retirement program.
That's a good way to look at it.
I talked to a lady.
Start investing in yourself.
Invest in yourself. I talked to a lady this morning. She's 62 years old, has a house that's upside down, a whole bunch of credit card debt, got a bunch of medical collections. She fell down, broke her hip. Insurance company didn't pay off the bills. And she's going to be coming to you. And I was explaining the program to her because I said, this is a perfect time for you. It's a great retirement. You can retire now in 3 years versus having to work the rest of your life to pay back debt your insurance company should have paid. I mean, that's why you've been paying insurance.
Right.
But there was some loophole in her policy where it expired or something happened and she got stuck with all this bills. So I see you, as a lifesaver, literally a lifesaver. So I appreciate you coming in. I know you're busy. You helped 25,000 people so far. You're helping hundreds of families every month. But I want to go back to this Bank of America thing. I see the banks as the bad guys. I see the banks as people that literally don't care about anything except for profit. They fly around in their corporate jets, wear $5,000 suits, drink fancy champagne, eat fancy caviar, and they don't care about anybody. I watched that movie, watched The End of Wall Street the other day. Have you watched that yet?
Epic movie.
And I think that what was the guy, Breton, the main character? I think he's using
the bad guy.
Yeah, his name used to be Brett, and now it's Breton because now he's a billionaire. I don't think that's too far from the truth.
I think that's today.
I think
was that movie made?
No, this is the new one.
Oh, the new one.
The new one.
I haven't had a chance.
Oh, you got to watch the new one. It ties in what really was going on with the mortgage-backed securities, how they convinced the government that they had to bail them out. Then they take that money they bailed out and they give themselves all bonuses. And he goes out and buys new motorcycles and a new helicopter and just.
He was a schmuck.
He's smoking fancy $500 cigars and just. I think it's real life.
It's like an accurate depiction of
over the top.
Yeah.
And we call them banksters.
Banksters.
They are the modern day gangsters. And we have a friend that was actually Jordan Belfort. And if you ever want to read an interesting book and about what goes on with Wall Street, get Jordan Belfort's book. It's called Catching the Wolf.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
The Wolf of Wall Street. Friend of ours and really nice guy.
Interesting guy,
but
I think
that's all I can say on this on this radio station. But if you want to read his book, it's The Wolf of Wall Street, Catching the Wolf. Jordan's a cool guy, but he really shared some stuff with us. And the movie The Boiler Room, you ever watch that movie, The Boiler Room?
Boiler Room,
That movie's about Jordan. And and Jordan really shared some light with Bank of America, J.P. Morgan and Chase, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, and what's going on with the insider trading. He really shared with us that this goes on every day, and the government's part of it.
Oh yeah.
And all the people on the government staff, the people from Goldman and Sachs, and all the banksters. So I digress. Let's get back to
The Bank of America story.
Bank of America. They're seeking immunity. They want to get away from the lawsuits. They want to get away from their bad name. And I want you to tell us about a family that you helped with Bank of America and an example of how you can help people today that are having the same situation with Bank of America or JP Morgan or Capital One or First Premier. What is it you did for this family with Bank of America?
Well, this particular family, it's still happening with Bank of America. Even after this episode we had with them where we got a pretty good order against them, what they were essentially doing was still collecting on a debt that was discharged in bankruptcy. The family, they filed, they had a house, they had a first, they had a second, both with Bank of America. The first, they wrote it off, they updated the report. We never heard from them again. The second, however, continued billing, and they continued calling. Okay, every day, speed dial, the debtors would get a call. My clients, they would get a call from Bank of America.
So after they filed bankruptcy, Bank of America continued to call, continued to harass, continued to destroy their credit, because I know they were. Without you saying that, I know they're destroying their credit because that's what banks do.
And they were still sending statements, too. Don't forget trying to collect.
And still sending statements on a debt that was discharged.
Right.
And we see that every day, that they destroy the credit, because here's why. People ask me, Ronnie, why would a bank do this? Because that's how they make money. If they can drive your credit score into the toilet, keeping the low 500s, they can charge you more interest down the road.
They got you up against a wall.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
And they say, well, yeah, but why would Bank of America want to do that? They're never going to loan you money. Well, they're all in on it together. I think they're all knowing what they do. I think they all have secret meetings, and it's, hey, let's destroy everybody's credit so that way when they come back to JP Morgan, we can hit them. And when they come back over here to U.S. Bank, we can hit them. And they all work together as a good old boy club.
Yeah.
And you see that in the movie Wall Street. If you haven't watched that movie yet, go out and get it, because it really shares with you really what's going on. When we come back, I can't wait for you to explain how that happened, what happened with that lawsuit, and what we can do to help other people that are experiencing this same problem.
This is Your Credit Matters with Rondi Lambeth on K-Praise 1210 AM KPRZ. Did you know that close to 50% of the homes for sale in San Diego are distressed properties? A homeowner that lost their home through either a short sale or foreclosure may have bad credit for up to 7 years after they lost their home. If you've lost a home and would like to learn how you legally and permanently can get that short sale or foreclosure removed from your credit report, visit AskRondi.com. Again, that's AskRondi.com. AskRondi.com, or simply call and speak to a credit expert at 888-900-3678. That's 888-900-3678. Tell a friend to listen to Your Credit Matters with Rondi Lambeth, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on K-Praise 1210 a.m. KPRZ. To reach Rondi, call 888-900-3678 or online at AskRondi.com. This is Your Credit Matters with Rondi Lambeth on K-Praise 1210 AM KPRZ. Did you know that if you don't have at least 3 open credit cards, your credit score could be negatively impacted? And with a lower credit score, you pay more in car insurance? That's right. The amount you pay in car insurance each month can be a direct result of your credit score. Whether this is fair or not, you're going to pay more for everything if you have poor credit. To learn how you can increase your credit score, visit AskRondi.com. Again, that's AskRondi.com, AskRondi.com, or simply call and speak to a credit expert at 888-900-3678. That's 888-900-3678. Tell a friend to listen to Your Credit Matters with Rondi Lambeth, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on K-Praise 1210 a.m. KPRZ. To reach Rondi, call 888-900-3678 or online at AskRondi.com.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Your Credit Matters, heard Monday through Friday at 6:30 to 7 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on K-Praise 1210 a.m. I'm your host, Rondi Lambeth, best-selling author and your local credit expert, and I expose every day what the big banks, the collection companies, and the credit bureaus don't want you to know, and how, in my opinion, they purposely drive down your credit score so they can charge you higher interest rates, more fees, and keep you in chains and make sure that you are their slave your entire life. Michelle, my partner, is also here today, and Michelle is a certified FICO credit professional and a licensed paralegal. We are here every day to help you and your family escape the bondage of debt and bad credit. If you have any questions regarding credit, real estate, or finances, or how to get out of debt in as little as 100 days, simply call our offline number. That number is 619-333-0111. Again, it's 619-333-0111. Or simply go to the website, askrondi.com. Again, it's askrondi.com, ASKRONDI.com. When we talk on our offline number, not only are we going to be able to help you and your family escape the chains of bad credit, but we're going to give you a free financial roadmap to a debt-free life. In studio today, I have Sean Doan with the Doan Law Firm. Thanks again, Sean, for coming in.
Thank you.
Before we left you earlier, we were talking about Bank of America and what they were doing to one of Sean's clients. They were harassing him. They were sending him invoices. They might have been reporting stuff on their credit report as past due and using the robo-dialer. And you hear me talking about that all the time on the show. You know, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act restricts a business in the United States or outside of the United States from calling your cell phone in an attempt to collect a debt or using it to solicit you if you revoke permission. And that's what they were doing with these guys. But tell us what happened and what you were able to do for this family.
Well, we reopened the bankruptcy case, and we filed a motion to show cause. Basically, the judge ordered Bank of America to come in and explain why they are not abiding by their order. Okay?
So
That sounds fun.
yeah, you reopen the case. They have to go and explain to the judge why they're ignoring a federal discharge order. So how'd that go down?
Exactly. Explain why you have to call 46 times over the last 3 months on a debt that's been discharged after Mr. Doan sent you certified mailings, after we've sent you mailings from the bankruptcy court. Long story short, the judge ordered them to pay $46,000 to my client, $46,000, $2,100 for credit repair. They made him pay all of our attorney's fees. It's like $6,000 or $7,000 in attorney's fees when we got done with bringing all the motions. And we don't charge that to the client up front. We'll never charge a client up front to do this type of work. It's part of our representation when we take their case. We're going to go after the creditors if they don't abide.
So I want to stop you right there and interrupt. If you filed bankruptcy in the past and you're still getting harassed, you're still getting past due notices, the banks are still calling you, and you want to put a stop to it, Sean and his firm can actually help you. They can put a stop to it. Maybe you'll get some money out of it. But here's the thing is you don't have to pay Sean up front. You don't have to do upfront attorney fees. They're going to look at your case. They're going to review your case, and we can help you with your credit. So if you need help with that, or if you have questions regarding bankruptcy or credit or how to get out of debt, how to get rid of a foreclosure off your credit report, how to get rid of a short sale, or even how to get an old bankruptcy removed from your credit. So you don't have to wait 10 years for that to fall off. In fact, in the Fair Credit Report Act, there is nowhere that says that they have to report anything to the credit bureaus, because that would be forcing the private citizens and private banks to actually use the credit bureaus. And so the law says they don't have to report anything. But if they do choose to report, it has to be accurate. And what we're finding, it's not accurate.
It's not accurate.
And that's how we're able to get the bankruptcy removed, the foreclosure removed, the short sale, the collection, the tax liens. We're 100% effective with getting tax liens removed. 100%. That's
good to hear, Ronnie.
Judgments. If you need help with your credit or finances or real estate, reach out to us. The offline number is 619-333-0111. It's 619-333-0111. Or go to the website, askrondi.com. It's ASKRONDI.com. It's ASKRONDI.com. Now back to you, Sean. What actually happened in the end of this? After they explained it to the judge, what did they say to the judge, by the way, or the trustee?
Well, as expected, they didn't even bother with it.
They didn't show up?
They didn't even show up.
Woohoo! That's an easy fine to pay.
They ignored, just like they ignored every letter from our office at the get-go to stop, fix it. They didn't even show up to court. So I made sure I put in my order. I told the judge, now, Your Honor, they're not going to abide by your order. They're going to ignore it. So I think you should put some type of coercion fee in there. Make them pay every month they ignore your order. And that's what we got. We got it in the order that they have to pay $500 for each month that goes by that they don't pay the fee.
Has your client got a check yet?
Oh, yeah. They came and wrote a check.
Nice.
Right before we were going to file another order against them.
It doesn't surprise me they don't show up. I mean, what are you going to, how do you explain that?
We're being purchased by X, or, we're caught up here, or our systems are down. They always find an excuse.
We're not going to fly our personal attorney out to wherever.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. Michelle, we talk about that with
change.
It is.
They want to deal with billions and trillions of dollars in transactions, not us little peon attorneys with.
Look at that, though. I mean, not only you help them eliminate their debt, but the client walks away with $48,000
plus the $500 every month they ignored the order.
Yeah, I mean. What could you do with an extra $50,000 right now? If you're listening to the show, how would your life be different if you called us and you called in, you explain your problem, and down the road we get you an extra $50,000, $100,000? White versus Experian, that was $42 million. $42 million class action lawsuit. We saw just on Monday, a New Mexico attorney had to pay over a few $100 target bill, $1.26 million, over doing this exact same thing, calling nonstop.
And it's still pocket change.
It's pocket change.
$46 million, that's nothing to Experian change.
Oh, nothing. I'm not when you're making. Yeah. They just reported last week their quarters are up.
Quarterly profit
are up like 80%. They're now in Brazil and some other countries. So
never been a better time than now.
Well, and here's how they make their money. If they can drive down your credit score, the banks will pay them more for more credit reports, which means they make more money. They can make their own money. They're like our own U.S. government. If they need money, they just print more. If they need money, they destroy your credit, so then they make more money. And that's why we have the Fair Credit Report Act. That's why we have some of the other laws that protect us from them. And that's why we have you on the show. If you have any questions regarding credit, real estate, or finances, if you want to know how Sean can help you put an extra $50,000 in your pocket, or maybe eliminate $50,000 of bad debt, medical debt. I'm not saying he can for sure, but if you want to know how that happens, simply call. It's 619-333-0111. Again, it's 619-333-0111. Or go to the website, AskRondi.com. Again, it's AskRondi.com.